Shalom, friends. It's Rabbi Jenny Solomon here at Beth Meyer Synagogue, and we are in the final stretch of the Atzeret Yemei Teshuvah, this 10-day period between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, this period of time in which so many of us in the Jewish world are really focusing our attention and intention around the work of making amends, granting forgiveness, apologizing, doing that interpersonal and intrapersonal work so that we can begin fresh and transformed with Yom Kippur. So I wanted to share just a little bit about this spiritual work in advance of Yom Kippur as a mincha moment, hopefully a moment for you of calm and consideration and contemplation. So the first is just to remember that that apologizing, slicha, and asking for forgiveness, mechila, are actually not the same thing. As we move through the Machzor, the prayer book, throughout Yom Kippur, we hear these words again and again, slicha, mechila, and other words with them. And each one has its own particular meaning. But I think it's helpful to remember that the work of slicha, I'm sorry, apologizing for what we've done to another person, even to ourselves, naming the mistake and the remorse, that in and of itself is a critical step. And the work of mechila, of asking for forgiveness, is actually something else entirely. Mechila is really an invitation and a request to another person, to God, to say, okay, now that I've admitted my mistake, what I've named, what I've done wrong, can we repair? Can we find a way to heal what's been broken or ruptured so that we can begin again? So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. And though we, of course, aspire to slicha and mechila in all relationships, it's not always possible. Perhaps we start with the work of slicha, naming what we've done, expressing regret, with the hope that, at least in time, the work of mechila, repair, and truly coming together again with full forgiveness can unfold. The second thing that I wanted to share is it's such an easy pitfall, but I know for myself, and I always think back to the first couple years that Eric and I were married, whenever we would get into an argument because I had done something to hurt Eric, I remember I would always get stuck on the mantra of, but that was not my intention. I didn't mean for that to happen. And it's the most natural thing, right? Like, none of us want to be the bad guy. And I know for myself, like, I couldn't even bear to hold the fact that this person that I love so much, I had unintentionally harmed. But the truth is, if you're in a loving relationship, certainly with a partner, but probably other relationships as well, for long enough, you're going to mess up. You're going to hurt each other, whether you intended it or not. And I think that one of the reasons why that response of, but I didn't mean it, it wasn't my intention, is like so totally unsatisfying to the person who is aggrieved, is because what it does is it centers the person who has missed the mark. And the person who is aggrieved is saying, I need you to see me. I need you to hear and understand what the impact was of what you did, even if you didn't mean it. And what's so amazing is that when we can center the person who is aggrieved in some way and really see them and try to understand the impact of our actions or our words, even unintentional, in time, especially when there's trust, there's usually an opportunity to explain why we did what we did, or to offer some context, or even to layer on and affirm that, of course, it wasn't intentional. But in the moment where the harm is being addressed. We do our best to center the person who's hurting. And when we do that, when we see them, then there is a very, very good chance that we'll be able to do repair and be granted not only slicha, but also mechila. May we all be privileged to do this work, to feel the gratification of repairing relationships with each other, with ourselves, with God. And may we be granted a good sealing in the book of life. Gemar Chatima Tova.